Here's a question for everybody. On a scale of 1 to Beyonce, how would you rate your confidence? Now,
How about your sexual confidence? Does that rating remain the same?
So many people have told me they don't feel sexy.
they don't like their bodies, or they just don't feel like they're good at sex. That's a sexual disempowered position. And I know what that feels like. I was there. I grew up in a sexually conservative culture. Talking about sex was taboo, and being sexually active is often associated with being immoral or dirty. So I grew up with a lot of guilt and shame surrounding my sexuality.
I did it a lot in hiding, a lot in secrecy.
I just never talked about it. I was so anxious. Today,
I'm here to share with you how I became sexually powerful.
fast forward from a 22-year-old sexually anxious girl to who I am today, Dr. Tara, a tenured professor, an award-winning researcher, a sexual communication expert. I study sex from the intra and interpersonal communication perspective. I've studied over 5,000 individuals, and I'm here to talk about one of the most important factors
Contributing to an amazing sex life.
that people rarely talk about: your sexual confidence. So, what exactly is sexual confidence? Sexual confidence is the trust in your own abilities to have a successful sexual encounter and to express your sexual needs. So, I'm going to talk about where your sexual confidence comes from, how to get more of it, and how to best project it. When I started researching sexual confidence, the concept that kept coming up was sexual self-esteem or sexual esteem, which is your internal sense of your sexual self. How do you see yourself as a sexual being? Do you feel like you're worthy of pleasure and connection with another human being?
Do you feel like you're sexually capable or you're sexually anxious?
These are just some of the questions to gauge your level of sexual self-esteem. Low sexual esteem can come from bad sexual experiences, sexual trauma, negative body image, but it also comes from BS cultural beliefs, like if you're sexually assertive, then you're not worthy of a long-term committed relationship, or you're not a husband or wife material. On the other hand, high sexual confidence or sexual self-esteem comes from good sexual experiences, positive body image, that's very important. But it also comes from knowing your body, knowing your sexual preferences, and believing in yourself. At this point, some of you might think, oh, shoot, I'm helpless. I'm here to tell you that you're not. Your sexual self-esteem is always developing. It's not fixed. You can develop to have higher sexual self-esteem. People with high sexual self-esteem express themselves through sexually confident behaviors and communication. They're unapologetic about their bodies, their sexual needs, their pleasure, and they're not afraid to say it. Now that you know where sexual confidence comes from, let's talk about some simple ways to increase it. Based on my research and personal experience, I have a strong belief that sexual mindfulness practices open doors for you to become more sexually powerful than you could possibly imagine. But I get it. I understand. Some people are hesitant when it comes to conventional mindful practices like meditation and breath work. So I'm here to share with you 2 things that you can do right now to get on a path of your sexual mindfulness journey. Well, maybe not right now. Some of you might get too aroused. Number 1, this is really important. You have to start journaling. Journaling works. There's research that supports that. And what do you journal? Start writing down your sexual likes and dislikes and say it out loud. We can all agree that confident people know what they want. So, sexually confident people know what they want and what they like sexually. Like my friend Bailey, she can easily state what turns her on, what pleasures her, no pause, no anxiety, just stating the facts. But to get to this point, you have to know what pleasures you and what are your sexual likes and dislikes. So start journaling, write down, create a list, be specific, and say it out loud. Number 2 is one of my favorite things to do: sexual affirmations. Your sexual confidence stays with you in all aspects of life. So you don't have to do the affirmations right before sex. Like, okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go say some affirmations. You can just integrate it into your morning routine. Here's what I do. Every morning when I get ready and I'm in the bathroom and I have like a little moment to myself, I take a few seconds. I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself, you are an amazing lover. And at the beginning, it was a little awkward, right? A little giggly. But the more you do it, the more you get comfortable. This morning, when I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you are an amazing lover, I know it's a fact. So after you do these mindful practices, you'll already feel more confident. I encourage you to venture into something more advanced, like sexual meditation, breath work, some tantric sex practices. You'll feel more and more confident each time. But like I always say, sex is 70% you, 30% your partner. So even if you become this perfect sexual being, but your partner is clueless, you're still going to have shitty sex. Which leads to my last point. You have to project your sexual confidence through sexual communication with your partner. At this point, researchers, scholars, and we can all agree that communication is key to a successful long-term romantic relationship. But what a lot of people don't know is communication is also key to a successful sex life. You have to sexually communicate with your partner before sex, during sex, after sex, in order to have a fulfilling sex life in the long run. And if you're not sure how to get started, here's what you can do. Start verbalizing sexual things that you love. For example, if your partner is doing something that's right on the spot, right? You're probably already non-verbally responding to that, but start verbalizing it. For example, you can say, oh my God, that feels amazing. Or, oh babe, I really like that. Can you do it again? I mean, it might be a little awkward at the beginning, but the more you do it, the more you get comfortable. All in all, being sexually confident allows you to openly communicate in sexual situations. You can start talking about sex with your partner. You can express your sexual likes and dislikes, guide your partner to better pleasure you, ask questions so you become a better sexual partner. It's just amazing all around. The better you become at sexual communication, the more likely you're going to have a wonderful sex life for the rest of your life. So start now. Today, I shared with you how you can become sexually powerful.
Let me tell you a little secret.
I was sexually anxious for so long. And ever since I became sexually confident, sex is just so much more delicious. Like Amy Jo Goddard, the sexual empowerment coach, once said,
The more whole we are as sexual beings,
the more fulfilled we are as human beings.
So,
I'll leave you with this question.
becoming sexually powerful is a choice.
Are you going to choose it? Thank you and have an orgasmic day.